A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a landmark decision that has sent ripples through the energy sector, President Donald Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill Act has successfully passed through Congress, effectively dismantling long-standing federal support for renewable energy sources such as solar and wind power. This sweeping legislation, which was approved by the House of Representatives on Thursday following a narrow Senate vote earlier in the week, marks a significant pivot in the United States energy policy. The bill is poised to reshape the landscape of energy production in the country, favoring fossil fuels while sidelining renewable energy initiatives. President Trump has been vocal about his energy priorities, asserting that the nation will increasingly depend on oil, gas, coal, and nuclear power to satisfy its growing energy demands. In a recent interview, he expressed his disdain for wind and solar energy, stating, "I don't want windmills destroying our place. I don't want these solar things where they go for miles and they cover up a half a mountain that are ugly as hell." This legislation is emblematic of Trump's administration's commitment to fossil fuels, as it fulfills many of the priorities outlined by the oil and gas industry. The American Petroleum Institute, a prominent industry lobbying group, has hailed the bill as transformational, claiming it will significantly enhance access to federal lands and waters for energy production. The law mandates a series of lease sales in the Gulf of Mexico over the next 15 years, along with increased drilling opportunities across 9 states and in Alaska. Additionally, the legislation reduces the royalties that oil and gas producers must pay to the government for extracting resources from federal lands, thus incentivizing higher production rates. Mike Summers, president of the American Petroleum Institute, stated, "This bill will be the most transformational legislation that we've seen in decades in terms of access to both federal lands and federal waters. It includes almost all of our priorities." The bill also introduces a carbon capture tax credit aimed at boosting crude oil production. This credit is designed to support the development of technology that captures carbon emissions and stores them underground. Under the new law, producers will receive increased tax benefits for injecting these emissions into wells, thereby enhancing oil output. Furthermore, the legislation extends the hydrogen tax credit until 2028, providing a boost to companies like Chevron and Exxon that are investing in hydrogen fuel projects. On the coal front, the law is equally favorable, mandating the availability of at least 4 million additional acres of federal land for mining operations. It also reduces the royalties coal companies owe to the government and allows for advanced manufacturing tax credits for metallurgical coal used in steel production. However, the bill's passage signifies a significant retreat from clean energy initiatives, as it phases out investment and production tax credits for wind and solar energy. These credits have been instrumental in the growth of the renewable energy sector, with the investment tax credit in place since 2005 and the production credit since 1992. The Inflation Reduction Act had previously extended these credits until at least 2032, but under the new legislation, solar and wind projects that commence operations after 2027 will no longer qualify for these incentives. There is a provision for projects that begin construction within 12 months of the bill's enactment, but the phase-out timeline is less aggressive than earlier versions of the legislation, which had set a hard deadline of December 31st, 2027. Abigail Ross-Hopper, CEO of the Solar Energy Industries Association, criticized the bill, stating, "Despite limited improvements, this legislation undermines the very foundation of America's manufacturing comeback and global energy leadership." As the dust settles on this major legislative victory for the Trump administration, the implications for the future of renewable energy in the United States remain to be seen. Environmental advocates and industry leaders are left grappling with the potential consequences of this shift towards fossil fuels as the nation navigates its energy landscape in the coming years. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.